The legacy of Erdrick continues. On your 16th birthday, you wake to the sound of your mother's voice. This is the day you are to see the king of Aliahan. Your mother has raised you to be a brave lad, and now you must carry on your father's legacy. He was a legendary warrior who suffered death at the hands of a fiendish monster. If not stopped, the archfiend Baramos will certainly destroy our world, the king says. Your challenge? Your destiny. The destruction of Baramos. With 3 allies of your choosing, you are set to embark on your quest to save the world from Baramos. Your final enemy? 8 classes of characters to select from: hero, soldier, pilgrim, wizard, fighter, merchant, sage, and goof-off. Change classes of your characters mid-game. Main story contains dozens of intricate subplots. Travel day and night. Gamble on monster battles at the fight rings. Select from an expanded arsenal of weapons, armor, and spells, and visit over 40 castles, towns, villages, and shrines. In Dragon Warrior 3, from Chunsoft and Enix America Inc., released in 1992, also known as Dragon Quest III and Into the Legend. This is the 3rd installment of the Dragon Quest series, known in North America as Dragon Warrior, and the first released for the Famicom in Japan, and later for the NES outside of America. The game saw an enhanced remake for the Super NES in 1996 and Game Boy Color in 2001, and a mobile phone port and the Wii in 2009 and 2011. The first 3 Dragon Quest games are part of the same story, and Dragon Warrior 3 is the first game chronologically, as well as the 3rd game that features the hero Loto. The story follows the hero, who is tasked with saving the world from the archfiend Baramos. Gathering a group of companions into a party, the hero must travel the world, stopping at various towns and locations, and find their way to the demon lord Baramos' lair. Dragon Warrior 3 expanded on the open world and non-linear gameplay of its predecessors, and introduced features such as a persistent world with its own day-night cycle and a class-changing system that was later used in Dragon Quest 6, 7, and 9. Dragon Quest III's class-changing system shaped the gameplay of other future RPGs, especially the Final Fantasy series, except Final Fantasy did it first. It has become the top-selling Dragon Quest game ever made, and Enix's breakout hit with the franchise, launching the franchise's mass appeal in Japan. Dragon Warrior 3 was noted for greatly expanding upon the gameplay of the original Dragon Warrior and Dragon Warrior 2. The game uses basic role-playing video game conventions such as leveling up by gaining experience points and equipping items. Battle is turn-based, like the other games in the series, though the remakes incorporate various interface changes from the later games. These include simpler door opening, a bag to store items instead of keeping them at the bank, quick item sorting with the Tidy Item and Tidy Bag command, and a full HP command to automate the process of casting healing and status restoring spells. And while earlier Dragon Quest games were non-linear in structure, Dragon Quest III featured an even more open-world experience. It allowed the players to freely swap characters in and out of their party and introduce the day-night cycle in which certain items, characters, and quests are only accessible at specific times of day. Dragon Warrior 3 features a class system in which each character has a certain class. At the start of the game, the player begins with a single male or female hero, but is able to recruit members at the local tavern. While the hero always keeps the hero class, the other characters may choose to be any of the following with either gender: soldiers, fighters, pilgrims, wizards, merchants, goof-offs, sages, and thieves, which were only available in the later version. The choice of class greatly affects the character's stats and the spells he or she can learn. Furthermore, upon reaching level 20, a character has the option of changing class at the Temple of Dama, found halfway through the game. A character who changes classes has their stats halved and restarts at experience level 1, retaining their spells and, in the remakes, their personality. This also allows the player to create a character that knows wizard spells but has the defense of a soldier. Unlike most Dragon Quest parties, aside from the hero, the party is not made up of characters involved in the story. Although only 4 characters can be in the party at any time, extra members can be kept at the tavern, allowing room for new recruits. Another innovation is the arena, where the player can place bets on the outcome of monster battles. In the remakes, after selecting a character, the player can change the character's starting abilities with 5 magical seeds given at the tavern. Also, each character has a personality trait which affects the growth rate of their abilities. The hero's personality is determined by the player's choices and actions during a dream sequence at the start of the game, while other characters' personalities are determined by their status at the end of the character generation process. Most personalities are available to both male and female characters, while few are exclusive to the different genders. A character's personality can be temporarily changed by equipping certain accessories or permanently changed by reading books. What can I tell you about the game? Dragon Quest III, 8.3 million copies sold in Japan. In Japan, the Super Famicom remake sold 1.4 million, with nearly 720,000 units sold in 1996 alone. The Game Boy Color version sold a very low 604,000 copies in Japan by 2001. However, together with the sales of the remakes, Dragon Quest III is the most successful title in the series and one of the best-selling role-playing games in Japan. As of November 2010, the Japanese mobile phone version was downloaded more than 1 million times, and Wii's Dragon Quest collection sold 403,000 copies in 2011. A review conducted by the magazine Famitsu in early 2006 among its readers placed Dragon Quest III as the third most favorite game of all time, being preceded only by Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy VII. Wouldn't you know? Probably the most never mind. And the best game on the Famicom. It's often mistakenly thought that the 1988 the game's success caused the Japanese government to outlaw further releases of Dragon Quest games on school days. In truth, Enix themselves decided to hold off the release of future Dragon Quest games until the weekends. The North American release of Dragon Warrior 3 did not meet nearly as much success. Considered an improvement over the first two games, Dragon Warrior 3 kept the same ugly graphical style and clumsy interface, explained Kurt Kalata of Gamma Sutra. The North American release's poor sales are partly due to the fact that the game was released after the release of 16-bit gaming systems, making it seem archaic to gamers. Critics found the new day-night system and the addition of an in-game bank praiseworthy. Its reputation has risen in America since its release, primarily due to the gameplay innovations, leading Nintendo Power to list it as number 176 on their top 200 games list. IGN later listed it as the 96th best NES game. You know what? I was requested to Let's Play this once, so I actually did the Super Nintendo remake because I like the interface better on the Super NES remake. I just finished it not too long ago with Ragnats, doing the Dragon Warrior series that I'm doing alongside my Final Fantasy Let's Play series. And I've always liked this game. This has been a fun game. Put it away for a while, because obviously I'd finished the Dragon Quest Let's Play. I'd finished the Dragon Warrior Let's Play. But just starting it up again to do this made me want to play it again. Just the music and the town and the little bit of story and everything. It was just really quite good. I really like... Dragon Quest V is probably my favorite Dragon Quest game. I really like 5. And for a long time, it was a tie between 3, 4, and 1 for my next favorite. But I think I can say 5 is my favorite, 3 is my next, and 1 and 4 are tied after that. And a lot of people don't really care for the first game, but without it, we wouldn't have the other games. Except Dragon Warrior 4 was the first game ever released in history.